Leo, is there any further update on Kane now that he's had the operation? Or is it...
Yeah, I haven't heard exactly, but yeah, he's out till whatever next season. Yeah, so they're talking somewhere between 4 and 6 months, but I don't know exactly. So full job in himself, though. Yeah.
Team well today?
Yeah, seemed to be. Yeah.
What element of today's performance could have pleased you?
It's just the pleasure of playing rugby again. It's the once when you get a habit of feed like that, you just need to get back playing again. And we have another tournament to go after. So, and it's tricky always, juggling the two tournaments. But listen, when one ends, you're very thankful for having the other one. So it's just getting back out there playing. So score, it's not how relevant is it really? It's just putting in a performance and getting fans that are watching the team, seeing some tries and watching a product that they can get excited by. So Shaq was upset with the try conceded, so would have been nice to have a 0 on the other end of that. So off the back of last week as well. But listen, anyway, it's only a step. It's no one's getting too excited on it today, are they?
Yeah. You sort of turned the page and that you won the match. There's going to be a lot of pressure now on you again, straight into it. Really, you prepared for that, or how do you think players will deal with that?
Yeah, there's a lot of talk about pressure, but I think it's important we flip that on its head a little bit, because we have to apply pressure on the teams that we play against, and there's a lot of threats in our team, so we need to make sure we're using those effectively. So it's just how we apply pressure on opposition from now on. We understand the opposition come with plans to try and unsettle the team, and listen, credit to Northampton, as I said here afterwards, they did a good job. And if you look back at some of the stats of the game, and listen, over 60% possession that we have, and in terms of entries into the opposition 22 versus theirs, it's you have to ask how do we actually lose the game? But listen, they come up with some good plans, and yeah, listen, we didn't do a good enough job, unfortunately, on the day. So, but yeah, listen, that'll be how we go about preparing now. So listen, the guys turn the page, during the course of this week. Monday was a painful experience, but as in the players, and every staff, everyone is working hard to try and find solutions to where we got exposed at the weekend. So and we need to continue that mindset. So the group is motivated, I believe, to move forward now. A bit of positivity in terms of the news, obviously, with the 12 lines at the end of the week. And it's great. But listen, everyone's also talked about making sure that we deliver everything we can for, it's for the group, the players that we have over the course of this season. But listen, for the people that support us, all the time. Friends, family, general supporters. And
just one slightly offbeat thing. What do you think of Ulster not qualifying for the Championship Cup? Do you think that's a bad thing for Irish rugby, or how do you see it?
Yeah, I think it's bad, yeah. It's hard for me to comment again on what is going on in another team, but yeah, listen, for Irish rugby, you want to see all the Irish teams competing at the top table of Champions Cup in particular. So yeah.
Who's on? No, Derek, sorry, to your right.
Yeah.
Sorry, just on a personal note, obviously there's been a huge amount of criticism directed more or less directly at you. How have you coped with that? Has that been difficult? It can't have been easy.
Yes. It's part of the job spec, you know what I mean? So, and I understand, listen, there's frustrations there, absolutely, completely 100% understand. So, there's expectation on this team, which is great because it's been built up over a long period of time. But listen, I've said it here before. Listen, I've so much internal pressure that I would put on myself to deliver best for the team. So nothing has changed in that regard. So, if a result goes well, if a result goes badly, I don't think I change my stance greatly sitting in this chair. So, I don't, it's part and parcel of the job. So I understand it 100%. And it's just making sure we do what's best for the group and continue to push forward. And yeah, when these times, like that's what real leadership, and you see character in the group, and we all need to display that. And listen, I need to set the standard in displaying that character. Does that make sense?
Derek O'Byrne.
We had some pretty terrific performances out there, notwithstanding it's a record URC score. So could you just run through, Jamie looked good, and obviously I want to say to you, Jordy looked good.
Oh,
What do you want me to say?
I thought Jack Cullen looked outstanding as well.
Jack Cullen certainly was very bright in the first half on
Yeah.
the back off, maybe a surprise to the Lord's half, that's neither here nor there. But just if you just roll through a few happy with today.
Yeah, exactly. There were so many good performances, yeah. So, young props, we want to keep Jack Boyle and Thomas Clarkson, keep progressing them along, with Rowan obviously in the middle. Diarmuid Mangan, listen, he's an academy player. He's at a proper, wow season, in terms of being an academy player. He's not naturally a lock, but he's done an unbelievable job for us as a group this year. So, yeah, listen, really pleasing there. And yeah, good to see Ryan Baird back playing six, lots of big moments. Jack led the team well all during the week. Josh has been really positive performances over since the Six Nations, since he's come back in. He's been great for us. They can keep going on. Lukey was good. Jamison got a couple of minutes, 15 minutes at the end, a few minutes before that in the first half. The 210s, good to see Frolls back in there. Very competitive centre grouping that we have. We have a Lions 13 there. Geordie's at the door. Obviously, Robbie's been on 2 Lions tours as well, so we're not short of experience. Jimmy obviously got an opportunity as well. It was pleasing to see him go well. Lowy trucked on again, and he said Jamie as well. It's good. So listen, overall, it's pleasing.
I want to use that word competitive. Frolly looked very good.
Yep, that was good. Good cover tackle. Took his try well. So yeah, that was good to have him in there.
Very determined.
100th game for Leinster.
Yeah, and Jordy displaying all the tricks of a player who never plays out half. It looks as if he could play out half. There was a lot going on there, wasn't there?
Yeah, we were thinking to put him in the forwards as well. So he's multi skilled. So listen, Jordy's excellent. Yeah. So hopefully he'll feature positively for between now and the end of the season.
He won't be stepping in for a rabbit at any point. No, he can't do anything.
Ask him here now.
Leo, what will Casper Gabriel get from working with Carlos Spencer next season?
You've caught me on the hop there, Rory.
After the next 3 years, maybe, but I'm sure you'll be taken away from Turner at some stage, but
Yeah.
in addition to that's Rugby family.
Absolutely, yeah. No, listen, it's a great statement of intent by Terry Muir for sure. So, yeah, I've only literally just heard it before we left in the bus to come down here. So, that was good. Obviously, we're out in Clontarf yesterday afternoon. So, Casper played in that game. He came off in the second half, but it's neat. Lots of good touches there as well. For a young kid, he's literally just out of school. Slightly unusual route to get to this point, but listen, he's a very talented young player. Listen, to have someone like Carlos, I'm sort of fascinated to see what that's like. So, I will be watching with great interest that space for sure.
That's another young guy in Sam who's he copped off the black himself after last weekend, and then I'm sure he had hopes of making the lines and didn't. He's had to go through so much, and so much for positive, but also some tough stuff as well in the last 8-9 months. How's he handling it?
Yeah, but and that's it. I've tried to push this message, and sometimes it can be hard to convince some of the people in the room here. But as a young 10, name a young 10 that's come through seamlessly through the course of their career. It's just it's a challenging position to play. And it's hard, the decision making, the scrutiny, so if you have a close skill, which is goal kicking more often than not as well, unless you're someone else that can take that off your hands, but that's just one component. So you think about all the mental energy and the practice that goes into that. And then, there's play calling and, because where you are in terms of defensively, proximity and, being targeted. And listen, there's so many things that go into it. So for a young man to go through or a young player to go through, from our game specifically, it's not straightforward. So in terms of the patience piece, there's going to be bumps in the road. That's like that's, I think, it's part and parcel of it. So again, going back to the character parts, like you have to just be able to display the right character to stand up to some of the flack that you're going to get at different stages, because like you don't go from this player that's top of the world to this player who's suddenly the worst player of all time. That's, you can't. It's not realistic. You need to operate somewhere in the middle in terms of your own understanding of the attention / whatever criticism / praise. So yeah, like it just goes with territory. It goes with territory, and that's the bit about top end of the game. And okay, it's a hard learning ground for young tens in particular. So that's why we'd be always very protective of our guys. So but Sam is dealing with it well. Listen, everyone's had to take a bit of criticism, and maybe that's as I said, like that's part and parcel of territory for us. So, but what can we control? We can't control what's just happened. So we just need to control what we do and having good habits, and trying to pick what we can from this game and put it into effect, and train well this week and try to get better and put in performance next week. And that's just not just Sam, that's all of us. So.